up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your host, Colonel and most handsome dad, Garrett Morlang, and here in the virtual studio with me is the king of video games and pocket poppy, Adrian Holmes. What's going on, dude?
What's going on, my guy? Happy Labor Day. I hope you did not labor today. I believe that's the point of the day. So
yeah, I don't know what Labor Day is actually celebrating, but yeah, there was in fact no labor happening today. I mean, still unemployed. We'll check in. No work yet. But I kicked it even more.
So
I didn't even.
You're really embodying the spirit of Labor Day then.
I didn't even look for a job.
There you go.
I took the day off to looking for a job. I didn't take any of my. I've been doing some classes on the side to try to get my CompTIA A+ certificate so I can do IT work. And I was like, I'm not doing class today either. So I just sat and painted minis with my son and played Astrobot Playroom with my son in preparation for Astrobot coming out later this week.
Let's go. Game of the year coming out in what, 3 days, 4 days?
I'm so excited. I can't wait for Thursday night. I cannot wait. And then,
Before you say something else, I was going to say, Carrie just asked, she said, did you do your P for money this week?
Did you pee for money? I did. Dude,
okay.
I made you guys laugh at me. I made $160 last week.
Look,
okay.
I laugh because it's a funny scenario. I'm not laughing at you getting money. Okay. Do what you got to do. You got kids. You got to feed them.
I paid for Astrobot. Okay. I paid for Astrobot.
Oh, and I'm not mad at you, but you got to admit, it's a funny scenario.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Absolutely wild. It's not something I thought I'd ever do.
If I had kids, I would 1000% be peeing for money if I had to. Okay. So don't feel bad about it. Don't feel bad about it at all. You got to do what you got to do.
Oh, no, I do not feel bad. Like I said, paid for Astrobot, paying for Warhammer Space Marine 2 coming out on Monday. So, yeah, it's good. It's all good. Today was a chill day. Good. Which is good. Because even though, again, like we've talked about this before, getting in the weeds a little bit, it's like, I mean, and you know this too, because you've been in this position. It's like, I'm unemployed, but I feel like I'm busier than ever.
Yes. When you have all the time in the world, you don't.
But I don't. It's such hard work trying to find a frickin' job.
Absolutely.
Applications take forever to fill out. Yeah.
Applications, going to interviews, going to second interviews, going to third interviews just to find out, we'll call you and let you know if you got it.
Yeah.
Talking to HR people, trying to go back and forth to set it up. And then they go, actually, we found a candidate already. We've been talking to you for a week. Yeah. No, not fun whatsoever. No. Wouldn't wish it on anybody.
It sucks, but hopefully that'll change soon.
That's what I was going to say. It sounds like there's a light at the end of the tunnel for you. So
there might be something coming up this week. There's nothing official, but I've heard through the grapevine might be an interview soon, and it seems promising. So we'll see.
Fingers crossed for you, my boy.
We will see. Even I at this point, I'm willing to do anything. I mean, I'm applying to everything.
Okay,
dude.
All right. Now, you don't have to say it like that.
No, I don't.
You already peeing.
I mean,
was peeing the gateway drug? Now you're just all the way in for whatever.
All the way in for anything, dude. No, it's I'm applying to Starbucks and McDonald's and Walmart. I'm like, just give me anything. But the problem, I'm overqualified for those jobs. So they look at my application, they just laugh at me. They're like, what are you doing? No. I
feel like those are the kind of jobs where they're like, it doesn't matter. We need a body. Just come stand here. You know what I mean?
You would think, but they don't. I get sometimes some of those places I get emails back immediately, just no, sorry. They see my experience. They're like, what are you doing, dude? You should be working. But then I apply to something on my level and they're like, well, you don't have a college degree and you're not, it's not quite exactly the same. And I'm in this weird spot where I don't have enough to be where I'm actually at, but I also have too much for everything else. And so we're figuring it out. That's why I'm going for the career change. That's why I'm trying to get that IT certificate. I just change careers completely and start fresh.
Maybe the McDonald's and those kind of jobs are like, well, we're not going to spend all that time and invest in you, because we know as soon as you actually find something, you're just going to leave out. So that might be what it is.
That's 100% what it is. Yeah. They're just looking at me and they're like, no, you're not here for the long term. Which I mean, honestly,
when it comes to, unless you're trying to own a franchise, which
if I could move
that's
up
not very many people.
I don't know. Who knows? But anyways, back to video games. Today, we're going to be talking about everything announced at the Nintendo Direct, what's up with that PS5 Pro leak, and the Annapurna and Remedy team up. But first, let's give a quick shout out to our Patreon producers, Bumple Smashing, Kajoma01, and our Super Gamer sponsors, Julie Bates, Mama Mare, Carrie, and David Matthews. Shout out to those folks. You want to be awesome just like them. Hold on 1 second.
No, he's dying. Don't worry about him.
I took a big gulp of sparkling water and I just had the burp just like sitting right here. And all I'm talking,
I know it all too well.
It was like bouncing, and I'm like, if I don't
just let it out,
get this out, it's gonna come out while I'm talking. It's gonna be gross.
Or it's gonna go back down with the force of 1,000 suns.
Yeah, or it goes back down and my stomach hurts later. So
yep.
If you want to be awesome just like those folks, this is so unhinged tonight. It's great.
It's okay. It's fine. It's been a little bit.
It's been a couple of weeks.
We got a lot of energy.
Head over to patreon.com/supergamerboys where you can support us starting at just $1 a month. That's right, $1. Get episodes early and ad-free, such as this show, as well as Patreon exclusive shows such as Super Later Boys, previous seasons of Super Gamer Book Club, and I mean a whole archive of episodes of even this show and every show we do, just no ads. So if you're like, I don't want to deal with ads, or I want to get stuff early, you want to get that exclusive good stuff, support us at just $1. But we'll talk more about that later on the show, as well as some of the other tiers that we offer. For now, I do want to give a huge shout out to Jack Sriracha, Yate, and DJ Trooz for allowing us to use their music on the show. Right now, you should be hearing Jack Sriracha and Yate in the background. Shout out to them for allowing us to use this music for free, not charging us a penny, and not suing us. I appreciate it. That's
like everyone else.
Mighty kind of you. So make sure to go check them out on Apple Music and Spotify. Link should be in the show description. If you're watching on YouTube and podcast, click those links, add them to your playlist, and enjoy. It's now time to check the mail. And that means it's time to boot up Super Gamer Bot, the heavyweight botcasting champion of the world.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what order you wanted to go in.
Oh, we're gonna boot. Wait, should I not?
No, I mean, we got to.
I miss Super Gamer Bot. It's been a minute.
Go ahead. Fire them up.
Unless you have a reason for me not to do it.
Well, I mean, I know we have.
Do you think they will get upset about me reading the other question? Because we have one question I will be reading.
No, that's fair. Go ahead, because we already are getting them out here. Let's just get it over with. You know how they get.
All right. Let's boot them up.
What's this? Recording on a holiday? This has to be against the rules. Well, since I have nothing to do, I can read a question or two. Let's do it.
Yes, recording on a holiday. Sorry, you will get paid holiday pay, Super Gamer Bot, whatever that means.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get you some extra bits and bobs, bits and bytes.
A little bit more RAMs.
A little extra RAM for you. We'll download some RAM for you. Do you mind reading that first question for us, which comes from Carrie?
Carrie asks, what's your favorite game or type of game when you are super duper sick? Get well soon, Carrie.
That is kind of Super Gamer Bot to wish Carrie well. By the way, there was a little note in here. Carrie, hijack. That's right. If you support us on Patreon, I should say this. You can see the show notes at a time. You can leave your own questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, notes, whatever the heck you want to on there. Within reason. Don't make a mess of my notes. I'll get angry. But it says, there's a little note here. It says, Carrie hijacked your notes and wants to say you both are super awesome and thanks for doing such a fun podcast. That's it. Bye. I just want to share that with you, Adrian, and say thank you to Carrie for that kind note. That was very, very nice to see. Warmed my soul, warmed my heart. And with that, we can answer this question though. What's your favorite type of game? What's your favorite game or type of game when you're super duper sick, Adrian? What's your go-to?
My go-to. I mean, I feel like it's my answer for everything, so I'm going to change it up. I'm going to do something a little different. You already know what the actual answer is.
Animal Crossing.
Right.
Kingdom Hearts.
And the third, of course, is Power Wash Simulator.
Power Wash Simulator.
I'll change it up. I'll say, okay, if I'm sick, a good narrative game, I think, works really well. So like an Edith Finch or a Firewatch or a Gone Home. One of those type deals I think is really good to scratch that itch when you're not feeling too well, because it's not super involved, right, most of the time, and you're just mainly watching the story unfold, so it's helping you pass time while you're recovering. So I would say a good narrative based game.
Okay.
Or like a Life is Strange type deal.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest. When I'm sick, I always have, like, in my head, I'm always like, oh, I'm gonna spend a bunch of time playing X game, whatever it is. I can't do it. I don't know. Like, when I'm sick, I'm either, I don't know. I guess I'm either sick to the point where, like, I have a split and a headache and I just, like, sleep for hours and I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm well enough to where I'm expected to continue doing my normal everyday task. Like, I don't have an in between when I'm sick. I'm either like dead on the floor, or I'm like, oh, well, you're not that sick. Like, you can still help the kids or go to work and do work. Like, I worked that's the problem with working from home too. Like, when I did have a job, it was like, well, I'm not that sick. I guess I can keep working, and I would. I just come down to work. But also, like, yeah, so when I'm at the point, though, where I'm, like, in bed, I feel like my mind is so all over the place. I could never focus on games. It's always hard. Like, I've tried. I've, like, picked something up and been, like, 10 minutes in, I'm, like, dozing off or, like, cross-eyed or whatever. If I was to pick something, so here's a few games that I like. I like the idea of playing when you're sick. I've never actually done it, but I like the idea of it. Power Wash Simulator is obviously one.
That'll put you right to sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
In a good way. It's just that comforting. That
static, like, white noise is like, you're out. A Little to the Left. That was an indie game that, like, it's a super simple, easy puzzles. I really love that one. That was a lot of fun to play on my Steam Deck. I actually haven't finished that one. I should go back because it came out with DLC and it looked really good. A Little to the Left is fantastic. And then I always like the idea of Stardew Valley. And I think I've talked about this before on the show. I've started Stardew Valley a few times. And I think usually when I'm sick, like, that's like, I always start it when I'm sick, but then I never continue after I get better. Mm-hmm. One of these days I will actually play it and, experience, because people freaking adore that game. And I feel like I'm missing out. But yeah, I think those would probably be my 3 picks. If I was well enough to play a game while being sick, but not too well to where I have to work. That's
a fine line, I feel like.
It is. It really is. Because it's tricky. Because, like, when I'm married, and so my wife comes in, she's like, "You're playing a game?" Like, in her head, I should be resting.
I thought you were sick.
Yeah, I thought you were sick.
Who are you, my mom?
And I'm like, all right, I'm an adult here. I can do what I want.
Right. I'm sick, but that doesn't mean I'm dead. I'm not.
But it is true. Like, she says
incapacitated.
She always does call me out at the right time. Like, she'll say that, and then I'm just like, well, okay, yeah, you're not wrong. Like, I am feeling
right. But even if
better.
I wasn't sick, you'd still be like, what are you doing? Playing a game? I can't win.
Yeah. Oh man. Carrie says, I've been playing Power Wash Simulator and Coral Island off and on. Farming Simulator.
Good picks.
Do I know Coral Island? I'm trying to think what that one is.
Carrie, play Gordlitz. Gordlitz is awesome.
Oh, that's the one you did on stream. It was on sale for like $2 or $3, wasn't it?
Yes.
Like, when it first came out. Because it was a big...
Gordlitz rules.
Gordlitz looked cool. I didn't get to play it, but... Okay, yeah, Coral Island is just a farming sim. That's pretty neat. Yeah, so those are my picks. Those are our picks. I don't know how helpful that is, Carrie, but hopefully that's helps someone out there. If not Carrie, hopefully someone out there is like, oh, okay, yeah. At least give A Little to the Left a try. That game's very good.
That game is very good.
All right. We have one more novel to read here from good old Ranger. Ranger's back. And... Oh, we're not going to have Super Gamer Bot read this one for obvious reasons. I can only
they're already upset.
They're already upset, and hopefully they're not listening, but sometimes I can only handle so much Super Game Robot's voice. I'm going to be honest.
Really? Huh. Yeah, you better hope they don't hear that.
Maybe we need to work on programming
updating
a new voice. We need what's the next firmware update? No, I'm kidding. Anyways, Ranger from the Rafters. I love that. That's what we're going with. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. He's our Batman.
Yes, I love it. Ranger from the Rafters. Star Wars TV as of late has been somewhat uneven for me. I guess I'm not the only one feeling that way, since The Acolyte was not picked up for a second season and it was recently canceled. Perhaps many of us are just simply Jedi'd out. It's time to move on to some other stories in the Star Wars universe, shall we? This is one of the reasons I don't think this is a word they meant to say. It says, I'm stimulated about jumping into Star Wars Outlaws.
I mean, maybe they meant it that way.
Okay.
I mean, I was excited too. I don't know about that excited, but I'm happy for you.
Stimulated, dude.
Right.
I'm gonna start using that in my everyday.
He was on edge for it.
Dude, that's so stimulating, man.
No.
What? Wait, did he say the first ever Star Wars open world game? And I haven't heard any mention of Jedi. Sign me up. Oh, and it's made by Massive, the same studio that handled Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, which I reiterate was overall very well done. The questions for this week circle around how you guys personally handle the purchasing of an upcoming game. I almost pre-ordered Cyberpunk for a PS4 at the time, and I'm sure glad I dodged a bullet there. Fortunately, my first ever pre-order was The Last of Us 2, which was the start of my occasional pre-order support of game creators as I vote with my dollar. So the question, have you ever pre-ordered any games? Or do you wait to see how the reviews turn out? Are you looking for early access? Does early access even interest you? Or do you wait months for prices to drop? Better yet, which edition do you buy? Looking for early access sometimes can be tricky and may conflict with review embargoes. So there's a lot of questions. I mean, the main one is, do you pre-order games? And if you do or do not, what are you looking for? Yeah, Adrian, do you pre-order games?
I 98% of the time do not, because
Sorry,
I buy digital games. What?
I just saw the chat. Kajoma's comment. He's like, I hate that. Talking about
what? Oh, stimulating.
Stimulating.
Sorry, I don't know what to tell you, Kajoma.
This is our word. It's the new word. It's the word of 2024.
It's not the new word. It's not the new word. Stimulating is a very old word that does not work in this context. Anyway, 98% of the time I do not pre-order games because I buy games digitally, so I don't have to worry about it selling out. However, I do know that for some developers, pre-orders can help with their metrics of, like, you know, support that they get for further development. Like if their publisher sees that a lot of people are pre-ordering, then that might help their chances if they want to do expansions or DLC or things like that, help that get greenlit. So that's something to take into account. I will usually pre-order a game if I am a really big fan of that studio and they have a proven track record, right? Like, so let's say, for example, Supergiant. Supergiant, in my opinion, has made nothing but 10s. Starting all the way back from Bastion. So yeah. Hades 2, I will probably pre-order closer to release, because I know it's going to be good. I have no reason to believe that it won't be good, just based on their track record and the quality of games that they make. Yeah. But it very, very rarely it does burn you, right? Like, CD Projekt Red, I pre-ordered Cyberpunk because I was like, same. Yeah, I was like, they made, you know what I mean? They made The Witcher 3, a phenomenal game. There's no way they got a proven track record. Witcher 2 also slapped, and then we got Cyberpunk at launch, and it was not the game that we were promised whatsoever.
Not great.
Now, I say that to say, there is an element of risk, but in my time of pre-ordering games, I have very, very, very rarely been burned. But that's because, like I said, I only pre-order stuff that I know or that I have a gut feeling is going to be good. If I'm even a little bit suspicious about it, I don't do it. So, like, for example, Astrobot. I know Astrobot is going to be good because the last 2 Astrobot games were phenomenal, and it's that same team. Yeah. So I have no problem pre-ordering Astrobot. So that's how I decide to.
And previews have already been coming out, and people are stoked about it. So
right,
it's like,
and good word of mouth. Yeah,
reviews aren't out yet, but previews are, and people are like very high on it. Granted, previews are just a slice of the pie. You know, sometimes even that outside the previews could be bad, but I would be shocked if Astrobot is a disaster. Yeah, I think I used to be more pre-order happy, where I just would pre-order anything and everything, especially at the beginning of when we started our podcast, because it was one of those things where in my head I'm like, we just gotta play everything and talk about it on the show, and we did, and it was fine, but it cost us a lot of money for games that a lot of which were just like, oh,
not
I don't really care about this. I don't really care. Or like it was fine. Like it reviewed well, but like I was like, oh, I don't care about this. Why did I buy this? You know, and play it, which is a totally different issue. That has nothing to do with pre-ordering. But I mean, there was times where it's like, oh no, yeah, this wasn't good. We should have waited, kind of thing, and like known better. But in general, now I'm kind of similar to you, where yeah, I've kind of backed off of pre-ordering. Unless it's something, again, it's like a known quantity. So like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I pre-ordered. God of War Ragnarok, I pre-ordered. Astrobot, I just pre-ordered this morning because there's some bonus you get from pre-ordering. I'm like, I know I'm going to play it and I know I'm going to like it. So I might as well just get it, right? Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's a few, like, for the most part, it's like Gran Turismo 7. Funny enough, I went through my PlayStation transactions. That's where I generally pre-order things. I haven't done a ton of pre-orders on Steam because Steam has such good prices on Steam sales. So if you just wait like a month, games will be like half off. It's crazy. But I pre-ordered Elden Ring, which I was surprised by. Which I mean, that was a very good game, but like that's not my type of game before I played Elden Ring. So I'm surprised I pre-ordered that one. And then
yeah, but FromSoft also has a crazy track record. So I feel like that was not that much of a gamble. So
I knew what I was getting into. But then this one made me laugh because I hadn't even finished the first game. I still haven't finished the first game. I pre-ordered Horizon Forbidden West.
Really?
Yeah, and I haven't even touched it. I've never installed it on my system. I own it. I pre-ordered it. I own it. Never touched it because I never finished the first one. I had every intention, was like, as soon as I pre-ordered it, I'm like, I'm going to finish the first one and be ready just in time for the second one. And then
I did finish the first one,
and then Elden Ring happened, honestly. And I was like, oh, shoot.
I should go back and give it a fair shake. I don't know. Maybe someday.
Horizon?
Yeah, Horizon 2. I beat the first one.
Yeah, the first one I just had a hard time. I felt like I got so in the weeds. Open world games do this to me. I get so in the weeds and all like the extra side quest stuff that I don't need to do that I get burnt out on the game. Like, and then I'm like, oh, I'm bored. I'm done. And then I'm not even close. I'm only like a quarter of the way through the game. So one of these times I just need to sit down, like Golden Path it, just do the story missions and knock it out. Because I've heard the first one's great. Yeah. And the second one looks gorgeous. Like phenomenal. I just want to fire up just to at least see it on my PlayStation 5 because I'm sure it looks great. But yeah, so pre-order, it's like I think in general that my rule of thumb is, unless you're like 100% certain this is your game, and it's from like a studio that's like, all right, I know this is gonna be good quality, it's not gonna be broken, then pre-order it. Because there are a few out there where you can pretty much trust that either day one or within the first 24 hours, it's going to be playable, you know? Like if there's a mistake, they're going to get it fixed. But Carrie made a good point in the chat. It says, I'll pre-order an indie I'm excited for because it can help them out a lot. And I've been doing that a lot. Actually, that's what I do more on Steam is most of my indies I get on Steam because I can play it on my Steam Deck. And honestly, like, but yeah, between wish listing and then pre-ordering them through there, that's the way to do it. Because yeah, wish listing, following on Steam, pre-ordering, that helps indie studios out so freaking much. Like to get that, like just those numbers, like publishers seeing that, like can help them get more funding. You know, obviously they see that and they get encouraged, and you know, it's just, you know, helps them get pushed through the end of the race there, getting that game out. So any chance I can get to support an indie developer, I try to. But yeah, good stuff. But rule of thumb, I think in general is don't pre-order unless you like, no. It's, you know, for sure it's gonna be good.
Yep.
Where, I mean, unfortunately, sometimes get burned. Cyberpunk definitely happened, but that's
There's
not
Annapurna.
That's
Annapurna. I feel like if you see any of their games, you're good.
You're good.
If anything they publish, you're likely gonna have a good time. So.
He ends this letter off with PS on a TV show side note. I love how the last two letters he's talked about a random TV show. Just to throw it out there, I guess.
Hey man,
on a TV show side note, I appreciate the Python-esque, as they say on the internet, the Python-esque nature of Time Bandits on Apple TV. Boom shakalaka. I used to have Apple TV because I had it for free. Like I bought, you know, my phone, I got it like 3 months free. Trudy got her phone.
I feel like it's just giving away Apple TV. Like if you breathe at the right time, they'll just be like, you want for a couple months of Apple TV?
Twitch was just giving it away if you subbed to channels. All last month, if you subbed to our channel, you probably got it for like a month for free. Like, so,
right.
Check it out. Go check your drops, your Twitch drops. You probably
Apple TV is money laundering. It has to be for Apple. That's the only thing that makes sense because they waste so much money and they never promote Apple TV.
No,
never. I don't see Apple TV commercials on TV. I don't see it on billboards, on buses, anywhere. It's literally just money laundering because they have so much money. You have to find out some way to launder that 2 trillion, 3 trillion, whatever it is. So
I've never heard of this Time Bandits though. So
it makes me think of Time Splitters. Great games.
Oh, it's a TV adaptation of Terry Gilliam's 1981 film Time Bandits, which centers on a young boy who discovers a time-traveling portal in his bedroom. Has Taika Waititi in it.
Hold on.
Charlene Yee, Lisa Kudrow.
Hold on.
Okay, there's some people in there.
Yeah.
That could be something.
I don't hate that cast at all. Is it a comedy?
I assume so if Taika's in it. That's all he can do. He can't. Yeah, it's adventure, comedy, fantasy, sci-fi. All right. Okay. I might need to check that out.
Well, because Charlene Yee is a comedian too. So,
All right. Well, I guess I need to find a free month of Apple TV somewhere out in my front yard and just dig it up and see what's going on over there. All right. We should probably do this podcast, huh?
I guess if we have
time for the nerdy nudes.
It's now time for the nerdy nudes.
Ever since we had that discussion a couple weeks ago where you said you might fake me out one of these times, you have me scared because I can't tell. It cuts out. So now I just have to wait an hour until I edit this episode to see if you actually are doing it or not.
It's coming. One day it's coming. You just be ready.
Psych me out. All right. So this first news story comes to us from IGN, written by Ryan Didsdale. It's a rundown. Nintendo Direct August 2024. Everything announced. We don't need to read through this whole thing. If there's things off the top of your head, Adrian, that you want to talk about, do it. Because there was a lot between the Direct and the Indie Showcase or Indie World Showcase. There was a lot. There was a lot of games they talked about.
The Indie Showcase for me definitely stole the show, but I'll let you go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was asking you, what's kind of the first thing you would like to touch on?
I mean, the big thing for me is definitely the why am I blanking? Oh, Pizza Tower. finally
Yes.
making its way over.
Yeah,
Been
Pizza
waiting to play that.
Tower. We've
waiting to-
known about this for a long time, right? Like this has been.
Pizza Tower has
talked
been
about.
a game for a long time. It's been out for a while, but it just never it has never made its way over to Switch, and I've been waiting forever for it to make its way, and it just hadn't done it. So finally it's coming over, and I actually need to pick it up.
Pizza
so that
Tower
was my-
launches on Switch today. So whenever the direct was, as revealed during the finale of Nintendo's Indie World Showcase, the fast-paced 2D platformer inspired by the Wario Land series launched on PC last year, but finally arrives on Switch as of August 27th. Players take on the role of Peppino Spaghetti, a maniac pizza man with many abilities like charging, super jumping, and dashing. IGN's Pizza Tower review returned a 9 out of 10. We said Pizza Tower is a blistering fast 2D platform with an unmistakable art style, an unforgettable soundtrack that transcends its Wario Land inspirations and finds its own identity as one of the most energetic, fun, and creative 2D platformers in recent memory.
Yes.
I love that his name is Peppino Spaghetti. It's so good.
It's so stupid. I love it. But I've watched a couple of playthroughs. Our buddy Steph Babies actually played through it on her stream a little while ago.
Okay.
So yeah, that game is looking real good, and I can't wait to play it. Yakuza is coming to Switch finally.
Again, Yakuza Kiwami.
Thank goodness. It was unbelievable that those games were not on Switch. I don't know how we never got them, especially because they're PS3 games or PS3 era games. So Switch could definitely run them. But I'm glad they're fixing that mistake, and they're probably only going to do like 1 or 2 at this point, and then wait for the next hardware, and then put the rest of them out so they can have the modern games on there too, which is totally fine because most people it'll take them until the next hardware gets out to finish the originals.
Right. The remake of the first Yakuza game is coming to Nintendo Switch after the series was absent on the platform for years. Revealed alongside an October 24th release date, Yakuza Kiwami tells the story of Kiryu Kazuma as he battles through the criminal underground of Tokyo, Japan. Faced with 10 years in prison for a murder he didn't commit, Kiryu reemerges in the city with a whole new world to comprehend as the Tokyo he knew in the 90s has long disappeared. So, the Yakuza games have always looked super interesting to me. I think we had a question a few weeks ago about like series that's hard to get into, and Yakuza is definitely one of them that like I've always been scared to jump into because there's so many of them, and I never know where to start. Like, should I just start playing the newest one because it's the newest one, just to like see what it's about, or is it worth investing the time and going back and like, all right, let's start with Kiwami, which is the remake of the first one, and like really understanding the whole story. Like this is so daunting, but I'm just glad that it's coming to more places for more people to play, because it always looks, anytime I've watched people stream it, seen videos of it, this game looks like so like wacky and fun, but also like the story, like it has a good story, like it's the drama and everything in it. I'm like, okay, this is like it's all the beats. But have you played through any of the Yakuza games?
0 is the one that I started on and didn't push all the way through, but I enjoyed what I played of it, and I would like to go back, but I feel like Yakuza is a huge time commitment with how many games there are. Yeah. Again, that's not a deterrent. That's like more of a sweet, because that means there's a lot of game to play. But it's just finding the time to do it is the big one.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, the new Capcom Fighting Collection.
Yeah.
Came out or is coming out on top of the Marvel vs. Capcom one.
It's out digitally on September 12th, physically on November 22nd. Marvel. Oh wait, no, that's Marvel vs. Capcom fight. Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, arcade classics.
Yeah, we got a date, and then there's another one coming out with Capcom vs. SNK.
Yeah, that one I don't see.
I don't think it has a date
yet, but
just the fact that it's coming. Like Capcom is just like, hey, you want all our olds, and Power Stone's in it too.
Yeah,
and
this
they're
is
like
Capcom versus SNK, Project Justive, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper, and Power Stone 2, coming to everything: PS4, PC, Switch, No mention of an Xbox release, so not Xbox,
which is interesting.
strange.
But yeah, I feel like Capcom is just like, you want all our best stuff? Here, take it. And everybody's like, okay, cool, we'll take that. And then Konami's finally following suit, like, speaking of Konami, all the Castlevania DS games are coming over the Switch. And they figured out a way to make them all work on one screen. So that tells me there's a way to make DS games work if you want them to on one screen. Nintendo. Why is DS not in Switch Online? Nintendo, it has a touch screen. What are we doing?
It's true. Yeah, it includes a bunch of them, right? Yeah, Dawn of Sorrow, Portrait of Ruin, Order of Ecclesia, which some of those are Game Boy Advance, but a couple of them are DS, right? Or all of those DS games? They're
all DS. We already got the Advance collection.
Okay. I was reading the article wrong here. It says joining. So yeah, it's saying Classic Collection and Advanced Collection's already available. I see. And now this is the Dominus Collection, which had all the DS games. That's pretty sick. I'm kind of excited for these next two games. You're going to be surprised because I don't have any former attachment to them, but they're both series I've been told by so many people I need to play because they're just for some. I feel like for certain people, they're up there with like Chrono Trigger, like that type of JRPG. And so I was like, I feel like people have been like, it's a disservice. You're doing a disservice to yourself by not playing these. So
if you're about to say Suikoden, you're right.
I'm stoked about, Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remaster coming March 2025. And then the HD 2D remake of
Dragon
Quest 3 coming as well, which that's this year, right?
Yep.
Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake, its gameplay trailer, November 14th. So just a couple more months. So both of those, man, like they look bangers. So good. And yeah, like there's a streamer. I've heard of Suikoden a lot. I've had friends who love Suikoden, and I've just never touched it. I'm like, I don't know. It seems a little too crazy to me. But it wasn't until recently I was watching a streamer who I like, Premier 2. His name is Pete. He was streaming and he was talking about like Suikoden he's been playing through the Elden Ring DLC. And he was just talking about like, dude, like Suikoden is like one of his favorite game series of all time. He was talking about it, and everything he said about it was just like, I don't know. It was like, man, this like checks so many boxes. This sounds so epic and so amazing. Like, why have I not?
They are so good.
Games? Both of them are
so good, dude.
Yeah, and then obviously like you and Selkies and a bunch of other people love the Dragon Quest series. So like hearing that 3, which I guess is technically like the first game, right? Like it's supposed to be
3 is technically 1. Yes.
Yeah. So like knowing that's coming this year, I'm like, okay, I might need to like figure. I don't
lock in, good buddy. You won't regret
games
it.
On my backlog, but I need to play through some of these. But yeah, Suikoden 1 and 2 not coming until next year. They said March 2025. So it gives me time. If I play through Dragon Quest 3 this year, Suikoden 1 and 2 next year.
Dragon Quest you can honestly probably get through in about 50 hours.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay.
Especially if they've modernized it and streamlined some stuff with like current day ideology of how JRPGs work. I think you can probably do that. Because I think the original is...
well, and just quality of life things. Because even in like Suikoden 1 and 2, it says the trailer highlighted 2 new features being added in the remaster: the ability to speed up combat to 2 times and 4 times speed, and auto battle button. So like even stuff like that, I'm sure can help speed up the game. Like, oh, okay, I can, just speed up combat so I don't have to sit there for, X amount. Like, because all that, if you go grinding, trying to like level up, like all that adds up. So to be able to just sit down and just get through it. What I just looked up Dragon Quest 3 on how long to beat.
Yeah, about 36, 37 hours.
For the main story, it says 27 and a half. Oh, wait, no, that's for Seeds of Salvation. Is that what it's called? Dragon Quest 3 Seeds of Salvation? Okay. 27 and a half hours. Main story. With extras, it's 33. Completionist is 33 and a half. So it's like...
See, I'm seeing different. I'm seeing main story is 36, main and extras 46, and completionist is about 43. Interesting. Well, basically, whatever that all means that it won't take you terribly long.
30 some hours. That's like how long,
in JRPG terms.
That's like Death Stranding length.
There you go.
There you go. Which, by the way, not our podcast, not our show, but we did it, Adrian. We won the Super NPC Book Club poll. Death
no
Stranding
way they're playing Death Stranding, dude.
Game. That's the baby game got picked. It was between that or Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Wow, they had to miss out on Ocarina of Time. I know they
Death
were
Stranding.
pissed.
Woo! I was fighting hard in that Discord, dude. I was fighting so hard in their Discord.
You're probably about to get banned, actually.
Probably.
That's hilarious.
Man. I mean, I had to. I was on the Call Me By Your Game episode, and I talked about Death Stranding, so it would be off-brand of me to not go that hard in the Super NPC Discord talking about how amazing Death Stranding is.
How much do you bet they were like, dude, nobody's going to pick Death Stranding. We got this locked in. We could just go ahead and start playing Ocarina of Time. Oops. Oops.
Sorry, everyone. I don't know who all is going to be playing it, but I'm sure it'll probably be Connor, it'll be Jeremy. Will Patrick be in there maybe? Will they get Patrick in there?
I think they can.
I know Patrick is like strictly a Nintendo guy like 90% of the time. So the thought of him playing Death Stranding just makes me chuckle because it's so completely off the wall different than
weird.
Anything Nintendo. Like,
I can't wait.
Not that he's never played any other console or never played, like Patrick has played a lot of games. Don't get me wrong. Like, but it's just funny because like his go-to is like Nintendo, Metroid, Zelda, like those. And sort of the thought of like someone like, you know, some of those guys over at the Super MP's radio is like, we gotta play Death Stranding. What is this? I love it. That brings me more joy. It's just like I can't wait to hear their reactions to the wild things that happen in that game. Anyways.
That's going to be
back
good.
On topic. Suikoden 1 and 2, Dragon Quest 3. I'm excited for that. I don't know if there's much. Oh, the Balatro. They announced.
Yeah, they got a lot of collabs.
They announced Dave the Diver at opening night live that they were collabing with them. But then at the direct, they announced, we're also collabing with Witcher 3, Vampire Survivors, and Among Us. And more. I think there's even more than that. That's not even all of them. Hang on, let me look at this article.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I feel like there was more. No, that was it. Yeah, The Witcher, Vampire Survivors, Dave the Diver, and Among Us. Wild. So basically, like they created themed decks based off of those games, which is awesome. Balatro is such a good game, and so I'm excited. Like, all right. Jump back in there, try some of these theme decks based off of these other series, see how the different Jokers work. That was surprising, honestly. Like of all games to collab, Balatro is like, it doesn't make sense. Like in my head, Balatro is one of those games like, that's going to come out and people will love it for what it is, but how do you possibly do DLC? How do you possibly, and then for them to be like,
and they said, watch this.
Hold my beer, you know? It's like, okay, all right. Sorry, I doubted you.
I feel like I definitely got to give Balatro like a good go one of these days.
Do you have it?
I don't.
Okay. It's fun. It's good. It's poker, but what's great is it's like you're playing with this magical deck that you can like get different effects to get points, and there's like weird magic stuff going on. You're basically building your deck out. Like you can swap like, okay, I'm gonna trade the Queen of Diamonds for another, Ace of Clubs or something. Like you can have multiples of the same cards, or you can have like all these weird like magical cards that do crazy things, and it's so fun. If it was a straight poker, I probably wouldn't be as interested, but it's like the craziness of it is like, okay, this is fun.
I feel like after.
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, I feel like after Inscription, me and Inscription had our little, go around. I'm much more open to the possibility of card games. So
it was good. It was good in the end, right?
No, Inscription was a roller coaster to me that I ended up coming out being a big fan of that game. So
I am so upset I'm unemployed right now. Like This is
Why did they do another set of cards?
I haven't been so upset until like 3 weeks ago, or maybe like a month ago. They put out the email because I'd signed up for email notifications. There's some dude over in Australia that makes physical versions of it that are like super, super, super high quality. Like he hand carves and hand crafts like the wooden box and like all like the little golden teeth and like all this, like all the cards are like,
what is it, like $600?
It's like it's like $200 or $300 Australian, which in US dollars it is cheaper. I think it comes up to like 150 ish, 150, between 150 and $200. That's a lot of money. Well, I was gonna say it's a lot of money for a game, but it's not really. Like if you buy like big board games like that, that's not a terrible price, honestly. But pre-orders ended. The second round of pre-orders ended a couple days ago, like the end of August. I'm like, dang it. I hope they do a third round and I hope I have a job because I so badly want to get it. It'd be so fun to play like in person with people because it's such a fun game. It's such a cool concept.
I feel like if they sell through like these first two waves, I wouldn't be surprised if they do a third. Yeah,
I hope so. Man, I hope so. It'd be so cool to get. This next announcement came out of nowhere. Power Wash Simulator.
Getting Shrek DLC, baby. Let's go, dude. DLC.
Meaning players can soon take their Power Washer to the Ogre's famous swamp and clean up for good. A Fairy Tales collaboration is coming to Nintendo Switch this fall in the new Shrek special pack for Power Wash Simulator. Wash away your worries and live happily ever after to the soothing sounds of high pressure water, carefully ridding nostalgic locations from villainous muck. In this hero's journey, players will clean up the grime, covering 5 iconic maps from the Shrek universe, including Shrek Swamp, Dragon's Lair, and 3 other unrevealed locations. I wouldn't have ever guessed that in a million years. Because, I mean, the Power Wash Simulator, their DLC is so all over the place. Like, they've done SpongeBob, and they've done Final Fantasy, they've done Tomb Raider, so it's like, you can't nail them down. There's no, like, rhyme or reason. So when it was like, Shrek, I'm like, okay, what's going on here, guys? Oh, it's so ridiculous. I love it. Absolutely love it. Adrian, was there anything else that you feel it's worth bringing up? Sea of Stars is getting TLC.
Yes, I'm stoked about that.
Yet, though. I have the game. I have not. I think I have the game. I think I got it on Steam.
Wait, you didn't play Oh, that's right. You haven't. That's fair.
I think I got it on Steam. Like
I have it on Switch
or something like that. So I've not played through that yet, but the DLC did look very good, though.
The game is very good.
Metal Slug Tactics gets a new trailer.
We finally got a date for Metal Gear Tactics, or not Metal Gear, Metal Slug Tactics.
It says sometime in fall 2024. So,
but I'm saying that's either this month or next month. So I'll take it because last time we saw this game was like a year or so ago. So
that's true.
I will take that.
Shovel Knight, Shovel of Hope DX, Ultimate Edition of the beloved adventure game.
What's the difference?
Jump, battle foes, and seek treasures as you quest to defeat the Order of No Quarter and their vile leader, the Enchantress. Shovel of Hope DX enriches the original game with 20 distinctive playable characters, seamless online multiplayer, and innovative additions like Rewind and Save States. Whether you're a longtime shoveler or eager to discover the Blue Burrower for the first time, Shovel Knight, Shovel of Hope DX invites everyone to celebrate a decade of digging, dashing, and discovery. So this is like a 10-year anniversary re-release with like save states and rewinds and more characters to play as.
So
that's one I've not played. I've never played Shovel Knight.
Really?
I recently got it on my 3DS, so I'm like, all right, after I finish a couple of these other games I have loaded up on there, maybe I'll try it.
Yes, please do. What was I gonna say? Oh, there's a indie game that looks super freaky and weird, and I actually really dig it. It's called Morsels. I don't know if you remember that one.
Oh yeah.
It's like really nasty and freaky, and the art is so good. And you play like a little animal that can turn into other monsters, and like Let me see. Morsels follows a mouse who uses magic cards to transform into little monsters, battling against wicked felines who dominate the game's world. Awesome. And the art is so good and weird.
Yeah, I love it. It's like 2D sprites, but it's 2D sprites done extremely well because they put like the fake scan lines over it and it actually almost looks 3D. Like they're 2D sprites, but with this, like it almost looks like looking at a CRT TV. Sometimes people try to simulate, pixel art on a CRT and it just looks simulated. It's like, oh, that still just looks like 2D art with like a weird filter over it. This looks like what I remember like a CRT looking like playing, some of those old retro games. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, the really high quality pixel art, like really whatever filter they're using for the scan lines actually looks legit. And so it's giving it everything that like a weird, like an interesting 3D effect to it. Very cool. Yeah. And like the art style is very kind of like, it's kind of gross a little bit, but cute at the same time. There's like really like cute things and then like really gross things. I don't know. It looks like it could be really, really fun, really silly. I'm excited for that one. Coming in February next year. Yeah, I think it's pretty much it for me. I mean, there's a couple more indies we could talk about, but we've already talked a long time about it. If you are curious, just go check out the list. There's so much they announce. Lots of great stuff. Nintendo has some cool stuff. It's maybe not be first party, but I'm glad to see that they're still supporting indies.
Oh, wait, real quick. Didn't we get a Plucky Squire date?
I don't think it was from them. It wasn't that opening night live.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I got them switched up.
I think that was you're right. We did, but I think that was opening night live, which was the week before, not at the Nintendo Direct. But yeah, that's like in the next month or so, if I remember right. It was pretty soon, which I'm stoked for that. That game looks super sick. All right. Well, moving on here. This next news story comes to us from IGN, written by Wesley Yinpool. PS5 Pro leak reveals alleged name and design of the console. A new report on the PS5 Pro has revealed alleged new information about the unannounced console in an article on Dialab's reliable PlayStation leaker Bilbilcloon said the final name of the mid-gen refresh is indeed PS5 Pro and published a sketch of its design. A sketch of its design based on what is claimed to be the final packaging box of the new console. The sketch above shows a console designed similar to the existing PS5 Slim, white in color and with 2 USB-C ports and a power button in the front. But there are 3 black stripes in the middle of the outer layer of the PS5 Pro that are not found on the base models. Bilbilcloon noted that the PS5 Pro appears slightly thicker than the PS5 Slim. PS5 Pro, seen by Bilbilcloon, does not include a disc drive. What's unclear is whether Sony plans to also release a version of the console with a disc drive. A price is not mentioned. The controller remains the base DualSense. Bilbilcloon expects Sony to announce a PS5 Pro during the first half of September, so the next couple weeks. IGN has asked Sony for comment. There's more to this article that talks about everything rumored with the PS5 Pro. We've already kind of talked about it all as far as specs. Basically, getting a 10% increase to CPU. The GPU is going to enable faster rendering and higher quality ray tracing at 33.5 teraflops. So it is I guess it's triple the quality of the standard PS5. Standard's only 10.2. The new one's going to be 33.5. So that's significant. Okay. There's a few other things, adding like AI upscaling, similar to like DLSS on PC with NVIDIA cards. They're adding PSSR, which is their version of like AI upscaling for content. So that way the game can be running at 1440p, but upscaled like 4K or whatever. We'll see. We'll see what's actually included. But what are your thoughts on this? Are you interested at all in a PS5 Pro?
Nah.
No.
No, I made the mistake I shouldn't say mistake. I made the decision with PS4 Pro thinking that that was the right move, and barely any games really took advantage of PS4 Pro. I feel like, well, not enough to justify the cost of the new hardware. how should I word this? I rarely use my PS5 at this point and have done so since I got it. Even when I originally had it, like in, what was that, 2021, around then?
Yeah.
Or 2022, I think. I rarely used it then, and I am not comfortable with the idea of paying $600 to $700 for a console that I'm probably going to be using at the same rate, right? This one, the one I have, will play GTA 6. It'll play it just fine. Yeah, the new one, you know, the Pro might play it at 60, but I'll live. You know?
Yeah.
And they haven't shown anything coming up that would warrant me being like, oh, I need a PS5 Pro for this from Sony, right?
Yeah.
The only thing that would have done it would have been Astrobot, but it's already coming out and it's already 60 and it's already gorgeous. So
yeah,
they don't really have anything that I'm like, yes, I need PS5 Pro for this. I mean, of course, there are people who are going to get it because they're, you know, they love new tech. I love new tech too, but in this case, it's just for me, it's not justifiable at this point with the game turnout we have.
Yeah, if there was more games coming out for the console, like that I was actually buying there, 'cause that's the thing. Like at this point, most of my games, probably like 90% of my gaming is happening on my Steam Deck or on my PC. Again, with Steam, like I'm playing PC games, whether it's, you know, on my actual PC or on my Steam Deck. And I don't know, like if there was more PlayStation exclusives that I like could actually play there, like you said, but on top of that, like my gaming setup, like I don't have it hooked up to like a big 4K TV in a living room. Like our living situation's very different here. Like I've talked about this before on the show, but I live like with family. Like it's my in-laws' house. Me and my wife live there, and then my wife's brother and sister-in-law live here too. Like it's like kind of bunch of families living here. We don't just have a typical like living room kickback space like you know, like I did when we lived on our own and we had our own apartment before we moved to San Diego. You know, like I had a TV, so in that sense it's like, oh yeah, I love my PS4 Pro because it was like, oh, I had a big 4K TV, having stuff in 4K was great. Loved it. But yeah, it's like, all right, I'm playing on my 1440p monitor in my office with a pair of headphones, you know, or playing remote play to my Steam Deck in my bed. So do I need a PS5 Pro to just play on these low resolutions like that? Like, no, not really. So that's, yeah. So not only like I'm there with you, like not only are the game selection not there, but I don't see a use case where it's even necessary, at least in my position. You know, if one day we have somehow can afford to get a home or apartment, I doubt it. But if that happens and, you know, I have a living room again, then great. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I have a big old 4K TV and have this beautiful picture, but it just doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Not at this point in time. No.
And for me too. And for a lot of people, I would not, I take that. Let me walk that back. Not,
I was going to say, we're going to get a whole lot of comments. You don't speak for me. You don't.
Oh, no. What I was going to say, I was actually going to say not for me, because originally I said for me, but really at this point, I don't care about this. So I have the all digital edition PS5. I'm fine with that. I am all digital at this point. I don't have any physical games except for I have Death Stranding. I have a couple PS4 games because, and well, in some PS2, PS3 games, obviously. But as far as stuff I can play on this, that's more of like, that's my like collection. Like that's not for playing, that's for displaying. Everything I have is digital. And I've seen a lot of people online complaining that the PS5 Pro does not have a disk drive. Again, for me, it's like, all right, I don't care. Like that sounds great. That's fine. Like I don't need a disk drive, but it does, even though I wouldn't need it or use it, to me, it does seem odd to have the Pro model and not have a disk drive. Like there's something about in my head when I hear like Pro, I'm thinking like, oh, it has all the bells and whistles. Like you're paying, there's only one SKU of it and it's gonna have all the bells and whistles. Like when I buy my iPhone 15 Pro, it better have everything. It better not be missing anything, right? And even the PS4 Pro had a disk drive. Granted, it's because physical media is still very prevalent with PS4. But I'm fine with it because I don't need it, but it does seem strange, like to hear, oh, this is basically like the ultimate version of a thing, but it's missing features. That seems off. But I mean, if their intention is to sell, they're already selling the disk drives for the current SKUs. So I assume it's going to be the same one. We'll just slide on. Like, I would hope that they because imagine people who have the Slims now and the external disk drive, and then they go to buy a PS5 Pro. They're like, oh, I'll just use the same disk drive, and it's like, no, it's not compatible. People are going to lose their minds. Like, it better be the same disk drive.
Nuts.
It has to be that. If it's not the same disk drive, it's not going to go well for Sony. People are going to be freaking out. But yeah, I don't know. That's another thing that's kind of like off-putting to me. Again, it doesn't change my decision in getting it because I don't use a disk drive, but it does seem weird. Like, why wouldn't it have it in there? But I digress. So stay tuned for that. Apparently in the next couple weeks, if Bilbo Coon's to be trusted, we could be getting a PS5 Pro announcement.
And if you're getting one, more power to you. Like I said, it's not for me. Clearly it's not for us, but if that's something you're into, have at it.
Yeah.
If you play your PS5 a whole lot, of course, it's a no-brainer, but we just don't.
If it was my sole console, I probably would, because the trade-in deals are usually great too. Like when I got the PS4 Pro, I traded in my original PS4 and like got a great deal. So I got it for like dirt cheap. Mm-hmm. I think I did my PS4 and a bunch of games and got it for practically free, basically.
Right.
Like after the console and like a stack of games I didn't touch. So it was worth it. But in this case, it's like, all right, like I don't have games to trade in anymore, and who knows what I'll get for the console. And again, it's like, if I don't need it, why even bother? So we'll see. If it's your sole console though, like 100%, like that makes total sense. Go and enjoy what you want to enjoy. All right, this last news story, it's going to be quickie. That was the whole point of, there's a plan. There is a plan behind my show notes. I don't do things randomly. This one is coming from Deadline, written by Anthony D'Alessandro. Annapurna teams with Remedy to develop Control and Alan Wake franchises for film and TV. Annapurna today is teaming with Remedy Entertainment to develop and produce their award-winning Control and Alan Wake video game franchises for film, television, and other audiovisual formats. As part of the deal, Annapurna will also work with Remedy as a co-production and co-financing partner for the upcoming game Control 2. Remedy will continue to focus on developing Control 2 and the rest of its slate of games. Last year, Remedy worked with Epic Games Publishing on Alan Wake 2, which became the label's fastest-selling game and was a winner of multiple Game of the Year awards. The news comes a week after the announcement that ex-Epic Games executive Hector Sanchez has rejoined Annapurna as president of Interactive and New Media. Sanchez will work with Annapurna founder and CEO Megan Ellison to develop IP across mediums. At Remedy, our primary focus continues to be what we do best, crafting industry-defining video games that have earned us global recognition. Now the time is right to expand the reach of Remedy's beloved franchises to an even broader global audience through film, television, and more. In Annapurna, we have found an outstanding partner who shares our ambition and passion for immersive storytelling. We are excited to see them bring the universes and characters we have created to life in new mediums, thanks to this unique deal, commented Tero Vertala, CEO of Remedy Entertainment. This deal with Remedy isn't just about adapting great games, it's about breaking new ground and how companies can collaborate. By backing Remedy's move toward self-publishing, we're putting our faith in their vision, said Sanchez. We know from experience that Remedy is a first-class games development partner, and we're excited to share their work with an even wider audience by bringing the Control and Alan Wake universes to film, television, and beyond. This is pretty sick. I'm stoked about this.
100%.
Annapurna, I didn't realize they did film. I mean, I've just known them from games.
Really?
But it's cool.
That's what I know them from film. And then I remember when they started to come into the games world.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess, I mean, I need to look it up because maybe there's things I've seen of theirs and just didn't realize it. But I feel like I didn't really know them until there are indie games that are popping up around. But Annapurna teaming up with Remedy. Control was very good. I haven't played Alan Wake, but what I've seen, I've watched some people stream through Alan Wake 2. Like,
I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Looks incredible. The story is so like, I don't know. There's so many twists and turns and craziness. One I want to like dive into on my own for sure. So the fact that, oh man, we could see like some sick movies and TV shows, whether it's rehashing stories that have already come out or even expanding that universe a little more. It's really exciting. So I'm really excited for them. Looking forward to that. Do you know off the top of your head any like stuff Annapurna's put out, like movie wise? Like why?
Not in recent memory. I should.
Okay.
I'm trying to
no
put
big deal.
a
I
finger on it.
can look it up.
Well, I'm
later,
Googling now. Go ahead.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, what's interesting is both of these games, they've kind of touched on this, like Control and Alan Wake 2 have touched on this like live action element that they kind of pop up in the games. Like it'll cut from like video game world to like this live action film. And I don't know. So it's just cool to me to think like, oh, like I wonder if they'll try to like almost, because both of the games kind of touch on multiverse stuff. So I was like, oh, I wonder if they'll try to like spin stuff off like ooh, it's like within the multiverse, you know, this is the real world versus, you know, whatever universe that's taking place in the games, that's like game world or whatever, and like even split it up that way where there are these different, you know, universes happening all at once that is interacting between movies, TV, games, all of that.
I'd be careful with that if I were you. You don't want to be Marvel.
No, yeah, you don't want to be Marvel, but I mean, that's already what they're toying with in the game. So I just think it's even cooler to go multi platform with that, like go from
what
games
they call it, transmedia.
and movies. Yeah, exactly. Like it's not just, they're not just dabbling with that in games. It really is. When they say it's another, you know, multiverse universe thing, it's also like it actually physically is, because it's not a video game now, it's a, you know, movie.
You know who was ahead of their time and didn't get appreciated for that, unfortunately? They opened that door. Quantum Break. Quantum Break did that before anybody else. They had the game and they had the TV show, and you could watch the TV show on its own, but certain parts of the game would just lead into an episode of the show, and then it would pick back up from there.
Oh wow.
So shout out to Quantum Break. You guys were
Yeah.
you were too early. You were too early. But now everybody's trying to do what you did back in the Xbox One days. So, you know,
that's awesome.
In case you were curious, some of the big hits from Annapurna are Zero Dark 30. They did that Joaquin Phoenix movie Her with the AI. Let's see here. Phantom Thread with Philip Seymour Hoffman. I think that was his last role. They did Sorry to Bother You. They did a film with the Leica Animation Studio, Missing Link. So they've got some hits.
Okay. I'm going to be honest. A lot of those I've definitely heard of, but I don't think I've ever seen any of them. So I might need to check some of them out.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about a lot of those. All right. Well, I think with that, we are done with the nerdy nudes. That means it's time for a Patreon ad.
Roll them.
All right, this is the part of the show where I tell you to go to patreon.com/supergameboys and support us over here. Making cool stuff. You can support us over there at patreon.com/supergameboys. $1 a month. That's right, $1 a month. You get episodes early and ad-free, such as this show, as well as exclusive access to our Patreon shows. We have Super Later Boys, early season Super Gamer Book Club, and I mean, you pretty much get anything and everything early and ad-free as well. So whether it's this show, right now we have a couple shows on hiatus, Super Dungeon Boys and Super Gamer Book Club, but when they come back, you know, you would get those early, you would get them ad-free. Book Club, you know, you get 2 months early. Dungeon Boys, I think when we did it before, we released it like a week early. So yeah, think about supporting us over there for $1. That way, when with the current content we have coming out, and when those other ones come off hiatus, hopefully one day, then we will be able to get those to you, and you'll be able to enjoy them before everyone else. $5 tier, you could get that previous perk as well as the show notes at a time. Just like earlier in the show, you know how I read that little note from Carrie about, her hijacking our notes, wanting to say how awesome we are. Well, that was because she supports us. I mean, she supports us at the $10 level, but she's a Super Gamer sponsor. But $5 level is where you get those show notes, where you can see everything we're going to talk about on the show. You can see the questions, you can see the nerdy news, you can see what we've been playing, everything. And you can leave a comment wherever you want, saying whatever you want within reason. Don't be weird. Don't be weird, because other people can see it. Other people will know you're weird. So if you leave a comment, other people who check the show notes will see it. Just saying. But no, make sure to support us over there. You can check that out. It's always fun to read some notes. We've gotten some, people sharing, hey, I've been playing this game, and sharing their thoughts on it, or other people giving little answers to mailbag questions. Maybe, they see a mailbag question they like and want to share what their answer would be. Our next tier we have is the $10 tier. That is our Super Gamer sponsor tier. We get those previous perks and a big ol' shout out at the top of each and every episode. So if you want to hear me shout your name out at the top of each and every show, make sure to support us at the $10 a month level. And then there's the top dog tier, $15 a month, Patreon producer, where you can support us and get all the previous perks, as well as the ability to pitch us a show segment. That's right. If you have an idea for a segment within this show, or maybe something for our social media, or maybe a spin-off thing that we post on YouTube, once a week, every couple of weeks, something like that, think about supporting us at that Patreon producer tier. Pitch that segment to us, see if we like it. If you want to pitch it to us beforehand and confirm that we're good with it before you pay $15 a month, by all means, go ahead and do that. It might be better, because I would hate to have someone support us there and then be like, nah, that sucks. But belong you, whatever you want to do, go ahead and support us there if you really love what we do. We love all of our Patreon supporters. Man, yeah, without you guys, we wouldn't be able to continue making all this cool stuff. Our Patreon producers, our Super Gamer sponsors, our our $5 and $1 tiers. You guys are all fantastic. So thank you very much. You can also support us by buying our merch. Summer Gamer Boys merch is still up at the moment. We'll see how much longer that lasts. But you can get some Summer Gamer Boys merch. We got t-shirts, we got shorts, we got hats, we got cups. I had said that weird. I was going to say glasses, and I changed to cups. Clips, glasses, cups, and a little bit of everything. So go check it out, sgbstore.com. Check out that Summer Gamer Boys collection on there, as well as our classic merch. That's still up there too. So if you just want a t-shirt or a hoodie with our classic logo on it, the blue and red, go ahead and get that. That's all good stuff. Last but not least, you can support us here on Twitch by subscribing. The good old-fashioned Twitch sub. That's right. So if you're watching us here on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheSuperGamerBoys, you can support us. Monday nights, we do stream while we're recording the podcast live. So if you're watching right now, you know that. But if you're watching later, Monday nights are on 7:30. We go live with the show, and then Tuesdays, I usually try to stream, and then Thursdays, Adrian streams, and we usually just kind of play whatever we want. I was playing through Kingdom Hearts 2, getting close to the end. We'll see if I jump into that this week or not. Adrian, he kind of plays whatever indie game he's feeling, so I don't know what he's playing on this week. We will see. But when you subscribe to us on Twitch, it helps support the channel. We can take that money back and invest it into equipment and the hosting fees and the games, whatever it might be. But you can also subscribe for free. I think subs are now up to like $6 or $7. I don't know. They keep going up. But if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account and get a free subscription each and every month for whatever channel you choose. Now, we would love it if you chose us. If you came over to twitch.tv/SuperGamerBoys, drop that free sub on us. that would be amazing. So it cost you, so that way what happens is it costs you $0. We still get the full amount we would normally get. And yeah, it gets you ad-free viewing to our channel. It gets you access to emotes. And there's other things completely separate from our channel that you get access to by doing that as well, like free games each and every month. Like they were just giving away, I don't know, there's something they was giving away recently that people were all excited about in our Discord. So go check it out. There's a lot of cool stuff involved with that, and we very much appreciate that sub coming our way. All right, well, that is it for the Patreon ad. Now let's get back to the show. All right, Adrian, it's that time. It's been a couple weeks, and I am champing at the bit. I gotta know what
champing or chomping. Champing or chomping.
Okay.
Well, I've heard chomping. I've heard it both ways.
I've always heard chomping. I always thought it was chomping until I heard someone else, as like another podcast I was listening to. They were like, "Hey, did you know it's actually champing?" I was like, "What? What is it?" And they explained it, and I was like, "I got to look this up and confirm." And sure enough, if you Google it, I mean, nowadays, because everyone says it the other way, that's kind of become normal. But
the colloquialism.
Yeah, but technically, it is champing at the bit. That is the word. The meaning, I'll look it up right here. The meaning champing at the bit means waiting in an impatient way to do something, which is, yeah, exactly. I mean, everyone knows that. Everyone knows exactly. Like, but it's just, I'm trying to remember. I thought it was it comes from like a horse bit. Like a horse, that's like the thing they put in a horse's mouth.
Yeah, no, I know that part. I just didn't know if it was champing or chomping.
For some reason,
I've always thought it was both, but
yeah, I mean now it is. I think because everyone just says it the wrong way, but it was originally champing at the bit. Anyways, what you playing, Adrian?
So me and my Switch have been getting reacquainted after a good little while.
Okay.
I finally picked up, because it was on sale, Pepper Grinder, which is it's the indie game where you play a little character who operates a drill. Her name's Pepper, and you move through the level with your drill. You kind of dig through the level, and that's how you traverse, and you can solve puzzles by using your drill. You also use the velocity of the drill to get around the level. So like you can start digging, and then you'll get like a little boost, and then you'll go all the way, like you'll fly out of the ground and go all the way to the top level. And there's, all these secrets you can find.
There's like physics built into it and stuff. Yeah. I think you streamed this one time, I think.
Yeah. I streamed the demo when it first dropped. I think it was during, Next Fest, Steam Next Fest. So I picked that up. Been having a great time with it so far. It's exactly like what the demo was, and I really had a good time with the demo. So I have a good feeling that this is going to be a winner. I also picked up Gunbrella, which is the Devolver game that came out recently, which is, of course, your umbrella can be a gun, and you're going right. You're going through the levels, and I haven't played too much of it. I think I started it and then, put it back down and went back to Pepper Grinder because I'm hooked on that. Hooked on that right now. And then I also finally, because it was also on sale, let me see, what is this? This is quadruple dipped and got Power Wash Simulator for Switch.
Oh my gosh.
So
that's insane.
Now I have it everywhere that it's available pretty much. Again, Future Lab, I don't know if you heard, but Apple Silicon is real powerful nowadays. And not only that,
imagine it on iOS.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Like, iPhones can run Death Stranding nowadays. I'm pretty sure they'd be able to handle Power Wash Simulator if you wanted to throw it on there. Maybe give it a shot and see.
If I can play Death Stranding and Resident Evil Village on my phone, I should be able to play
Power Wash Simulator. So I don't know what the holdup is. Maybe talk to Apple, see about getting it on Apple Arcade, or I don't know, something. But iPhone can definitely handle Power Wash Simulator. And let me tell you, especially because you can walk around and control your washer with touch input, which is like similar to mouse input. So I feel like it's kind of, almost a no-brainer. I mean, it's not a no-brainer. Of course, it's going to take a lot of work, but I'm just saying, I feel like this is a missed opportunity here. You can put it on iOS. Maybe you do a split purchase like between there and Mac OS, so I get it on both if I buy it one time. Just spitballing. I would definitely buy it. I will buy Power Wash Simulator on every platform that it gets released on that I have access to. I love that game so much. And now I can take it with me anywhere I go.
Anywhere you go. That's awesome. I love it. One of these days I need to play through it and finish it, because I enjoyed my time with it, but I just kind of fell off because in my head I was like, oh, this is it. It's just like, which isn't bad, but I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna, you can know me. I like a game with a story. I feel like it was you were telling me, you're like, no, there's some stuff that happens in there, kind of. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but you have to be paying attention.
Right, exactly. I'm like, oh, see, I was just going through stuff and not really paying attention. I didn't get, like I said, I didn't get far, so I might not even got to a point where there was anything happening, but now I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I need to go through and like pay attention, because that kind of stuff always interests me as well. Like, there's like the hidden stuff going on in the background. Like that sounds fun. One of these days. Sick. Anything else you're playing?
Those few will do it. You know what I've been thinking, and I'll probably update you next week. I haven't touched my Playdate in a little bit. Got to see what's going on with that. I know there's got to. I retweet the drops every time that they come out, so I know there's been some new games popping. But I also have a fat backlog.
The pizza box.
Did you get it? I got to the checkout and I was like,
I want it so bad. Shipping was so much.
Yeah, that was the thing that killed it for me.
Shipping was so much for it for some reason. I did see at, I forget. I don't know what. Maybe it was at PAX, because that just happened, didn't it? They had a booth set up somewhere, and I saw someone on Reddit post. They were selling the pizza box cases at whatever convention they were at, and they were also and play dates, obviously. And someone posted a picture on Reddit, and they were selling it and giving it to people in actual pizza boxes. And so someone like, so it was a picture of someone holding a pizza box that has all like the Playdate branding on it, like a full-size pizza box, and inside had the Playdate pizza box case that goes on the Playdate, and then an actual like recipe cards that have a pizza crust like recipe and stuff in there. I'm like, man, that's pretty good. So cool. I would have been so sick. I don't need a Playdate, but I would have bought one just to get that whole get up. That would have been sick.
See, that's the kind of stuff that I would pay my own way to go to a convention to like work the booth for Playdate. Totally. You know what I mean? I'm just throwing that out there, Panic. If you ever need, again, like I said, I will gladly be a brand evangelist. You can give me a badge, I'll be there. I'll figure it out,
So good. Well, cool.
I should probably clip that out and send it to him. I don't know why I don't do that.
Yeah. I have a couple games I've been playing.
You didn't even let me ask.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But that's what I've been playing, Mr. Morlang. Now, what have you been playing?
Oh, thank you so much for asking. I appreciate it. I have been playing a few games that have me very excited. It's been a very good couple weeks of gaming. I feel like I was on kind of like a little bit of a lull for a bit. I've been struggling to play games or find like passion in playing games and fun. It's been like kind of like almost like forcing myself to do it in a sense. And not that I haven't enjoyed the games I've been playing, but it's been like, I should probably play this game, kind of thing. Where the last like 2 weeks, I've been getting some bangers. Been great.
Talk to me.
I'm going to start with this first one. This was announced world premiere during the pre-show of Opening Night Live. They announced this game called We Harvest Shadows. It is an indie game made by someone, his name is David Well, known for, let me look what other game he's made. The First Tree came out back in 2017, and Home is Where One Starts, which came out in like 2015. And
now this is another on your own pick, right?
Yeah, I'm going rogue on this one.
Going rogue again.
No Adrian backing on this one, but they released a demo, and I got to play it.
All right.
There's this demo has lots of promise. So here's the gist of the game. From the creator of The First Tree comes We Harvest Shadows, an emotional first-person narrative game with farming and horror elements. Players take control of Garrett.
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, farming and horror. Yeah. Players take control of Garrett. So, I mean, it's the kid's been named after me.
So there's bias. There's bias.
There's definitely heavy bias.
Okay.
A transplant from the city who has exiled himself to an abandoned farm for the rest of his life. He thinks the world is better without him in it. Each new day brings a new to-do list.
The game takes place in El Cajon, California.
Wait a second. It's just a story about this is a game about my life.
With no royalties.
Each new day brings a new to-do list. Players will fix up their house, care for livestock, and improve their farmstead, all while exploring the hundreds of acres surrounding the farm. But in the quiet of the lonely night, something stirs. Is Garrett truly alone, or is something stalking him from the shadows? Taking inspiration from both from slow burn PT-style psychological horror games and Edith Finch-style first-person titles, this game plays on poignant horror themes to gradually imagine a terrifying vision that Garrett must save himself from until the soul-shaking end. Let me tell you.
I feel like they just handed you, like on a silver platter, your Spooky Gamer Boy skit. Like you can just bring this game to life.
I just need to go find a farm to film at.
I imagine it's not hard.
I mean, in El Cajon, there's not too many of those around here. When I lived in Modesto, there are lots of farms around there. I just need to drive back up to Modesto, Central Valley. Dude, this demo, it's not long. I beat it in like an hour or less. But already in like the first couple chapters, I'm like, I am so in. What's funny is, so with my experience, I beat it in like less than an hour. Our friend and mod here on the channel, Lula Mari Mouse, she played on her stream and she played for like a couple hours and never finished the demo. Like she spent all of her time just like actually doing the farming sim aspect, like growing out a whole vegetable garden, like getting chickens, like doing all this stuff. And so I don't know, I just love that this game is set up in a way where you can totally like spend all your time doing farming sim stuff or just do the bare minimum and just focus on the story. At least in the demo, they allowed you to do that. But yeah, this demo, the farming aspects are fun. They're a little janky, but I mean, it's a demo. It's early access. She's just starting out, figuring it out. But the atmosphere of the game, the graphics are incredible. It's a gorgeous game, surprisingly, for just one person making it. The atmosphere in this game is so good. It uses like this psychological horror system where it's like you can see what your mind, like what's going on. What's the word I'm looking for? Your mental
imagining.
State. You can see your mental state. There's a picture on the wall at the bottom of the stairs. So every morning you come down the stairs and you can see there's a painting on the wall that kind of tells you what your mental state is. And it's just a painting of like a hallway. Sometimes it's just a hallway with a door at the end. Sometimes that door's open a little bit. Just a little crack and you can see the darkness in there. Sometimes there's something standing in the hallway. And it's like, so every day you come down and you're like seeing this painting and you're like, oh no, what's gonna happen? Like there's something like peeking around the corner of that door or like that hallway. Like what's gonna happen today? All right, here we go. And so the whole day you're just on edge, just like, when's it gonna come? When's it gonna come? And it's genuinely creepy. Like there was no like straight up like jump scare, like scream, freak out moment during the demo. But there are some moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, like it was tense, like running from stuff in the dark. And I think that's what's so beautiful about this game. I don't know how it's going to be in the long term, but at least in these first 2 chapters, I loved that most of the horror and dread that came from this demo was purely just in my own head. It was the expecting and waiting for something to happen, or like being out in the woods and seeing like a shadow like dip behind a tree and being like, what was that? And then going and checking out and there's nothing there, but it's like, all right.
This sounds like Eternal Darkness. I don't know if you know what that is for GameCube that came out
I've heard
a long
of it.
time
I've
ago.
never played it. I've heard
this
of the game,
is the same kind of
it.
deal. Like,
okay.
Depending on what's going on in the game, it'll alter like the character's mental state, and you'll like hear things and see things that aren't there.
Okay.
You'll get attacked by like monsters that aren't there, and you'll like flinch and try to move out of the way, and when they hit you, like nothing happened. This sounds similar to that kind of mechanic. And if that's the case, you're winning me over.
It sounds great. It's literally so it's like it's a farming sim. So it's like Stardew Valley. Like, do your fields, have your livestock, do whatever. First person though, but then with like that horror element, it's like as soon as it gets nighttime. During the day you're fine, and once it starts getting dark, it's like better get your chores done before dark, or stuff's gonna get weird. And I loved it. I wish the demo was longer. I almost want to go back and play it the way Lula's been playing it, where she is just like spending more time doing like the farming aspect of it, because I want to spend more time in this world. I'm very excited for it. At this point, there's no date from what I can tell. And I think even he put out a news, like a post on his Steam, because I follow, you know how you can follow games on Steam, not just wish list, but you can follow and get like updates from the dev.
Updates, yeah.
He did mention that like, I didn't get to read the whole thing, but kind of like he doesn't have any money right now. He doesn't have any funding. He wants to make this game. He's had a lot of people tell him like, no one's gonna like this game. No one's gonna care about this game. Obviously, he's gotten a lot of good responses from the demo, so that's like encouraged him to continue with it. But I just hope it actually comes out, because what I read from that post made it almost seem like it might not ever turn into anything if no one backs it. So, man. What a cool project. I hope I don't get burned on this one.
I was gonna say I'll wait for your final verdict when you actually play it, and then you can tell me whether or not it's worth looking into, because the concept sounds great. But execution is a whole different beast. Yeah.
I've also been playing, like I said before, I topped up some games on my 3DS, and I got old Rhythm Heaven Megamix.
Let's go. When you told me you were playing Rhythm Heaven, I was stunned. I said, you are playing Rhythm Heaven? Yeah. And then I stopped and I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? I think I told you that too, verbatim. I was like, you are going to love this game because it's WarioWare's musical sibling. It's literally WarioWare, but put to music.
Well, and even jumping into it, I almost feel like there's some characters I recognize from WarioWare. Like, is there crossover?
It's the same team.
Oh, it's the same. Okay, because I feel like there's a couple characters who are like very similar to characters, and I'm just like, that looks like.
That's why the art styles are so similar.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, man, I'm loving this so much. It's so stinking fun. It's so silly and goofy. I love the stupid little conversations they have with the different characters on each level. Like, I just got done with the demo, the donut level, and like this weird dude who's like into donuts in a weird way,
Oh yeah, no, I know.
It's like, a
little too into donuts.
But I love how what's the character's name? Like the character that falls from heaven, the little bear dude, Tibby. I love how like Tibby is the whole time is like, wait, what? Like Tibby totally realizes what's going on too. Is like, wait a second, do you actually mean? What are you saying? I love it.
Do you actually love this donut? Is that what's going on?
Yeah. Very, very fun game. It's just a bunch of little mini games, like completely irrelevant, random, like nothing. There's no rhyme or reason to anything, which I love. It's just like, oh, now you're snowboarding. Oh, now you're killing germs, and now you're flipping a coin, like all sorts of like random things. But it's all about keeping the rhythm. Like there's like a music or a beat and stuff like that. And the idea is complete the entire mini game, keeping on rhythm is as much as possible, or with or even without music sometimes. Like in some of the harder ones, like also the music will cut out and you're expected to like keep time with the rhythm with nothing but just the clock in your head, as long as you're keeping the beat in your head.
It's so good. It gets my heart pumping every time, man.
I love it. And the soundtrack is great. Like I've been loving all the music.
Yep.
I mean, the menu music was great. And then in the games themselves, they all like every mini game has its own unique soundtrack to it. Loving it. Absolutely loving it.
That does me so good to hear, man. I'm such a massive, I feel like it comes with the territory. Like if you're a WarioWare fan, you're automatically a Rhythm Heaven fan because they're just like this, you know what I mean? Two sides of the same coin. So I'm glad you finally gave it a shot.
I'm glad too. It was one of those things where like I've always heard you talk about it, and in my head I'm like, oh man, like I wish I could play it. And then it finally hit me like, oh, I can.
You could.
Because
and you're literally playing like the greatest hits version. Like Megamix is all the best games from the whole series.
I have the original one on DS as well, because I have a DS emulator on my 3DS. So I do have that one. I have not. I play a little bit of it, but I was actually surprised how very different they were. The gameplay is the same, but like the whole, I don't know, the story and just like the way the game feels is very different. I'm like, oh, this is like, you can tell this is the first, like they were just trying to like testing this out, and then they're like, oh, they went wild with.
Well, like, the first one was strictly just like mini games. Like we're gonna play mini games, and then. Over time, that's when they started adding the story elements and stuff like that into it. So, but Megamix was meant to be like, they did that for both. Actually, both series. They did Rhythm Heaven Megamix and WarioWare Gold, which is like a greatest hits for both of those series, which is cool because they're on the same system. So if you ever wanted to try out WarioWare, this is just for the general audience. If you ever wanted to try out WarioWare and Rhythm Heaven, see if you can get a 3DS. Because that is literally the best showcase for both of those series is WarioWare Gold and Rhythm Heaven Megamix. So
which one did I just got a WarioWare on my 3DS. Which one did I get? I don't think it was Gold. Is there another one that came on 3DS?
It might have been an eShop only one, but the only one that I know of like confidently is Gold. And Gold is also very good too. It has like a whole bunch of different kind of games. It has motion games, touch games, regular old, press A classic WarioWare games.
So maybe it was. Maybe I did get Gold. I for some reason in my head. Or maybe. Oh no, I think for DS I got WarioWare Touched. Yeah, that was a DS one. That was a DS one, but I didn't realize there was a 3DS one, so I might need to look into that. Yeah, because I love WarioWare. Those games so
yes. So both of those. I can't believe we didn't get a Rhythm Heaven for Switch, dude. I was so sure we were going to get one.
I honestly, yeah. I mean, we've gotten 2 WarioWare games on Switch. So it only seems like... I
mean, we did. One was like WarioWare in name only. And then we actually got a real WarioWare recently with Smooth Moves. Or not...
there was Get It Together, and then there was Move It. Yeah. You think Move It is more like WarioWare than Get It Together?
WarioWare Move It is like actual WarioWare.
I've played Get It Together, and I enjoyed it for what it was, but
but it wasn't WarioWare. Move It is for sure WarioWare. It's like the spiritual successor to Smooth Moves from the Wii, which is like everybody's favorite WarioWare, which I'm not mad at. It's a fantastic WarioWare game. Of course, but I'm still partial to the first one.
Yeah, Mega Micro Games will forever be the greatest of all time. Like I put so many hundreds of hours into that game, probably as a road trip game. Every time I went on a road trip is Pokemon and Mega Micro Games back and forth.
Just don't play Game & Wario. It sucks.
Oh really?
It was for Wii U. Yeah.
Okay. I'd never heard of it until I have a list up in front of me, and I was just hovering.
It's like a side WarioWare. They don't even call it WarioWare. It's just Game & Wario. It's not good.
That's funny. Okay. I've also been playing more Cult of the Lamb. I don't need to go on and on about that, other than it's taking over my entire life, and I can't stop playing it. So when I'm not playing Rhythm Heaven or the We Harvest Shadows demo, I've literally been addicted to Cult of the Lamb. like nonstop. Every minute I get available, I'm sitting down and playing it. And I've told Trudy even the other day, I'm like, I can't stop playing this game. I haven't had this in a long time where I can't put a game down. Like even like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I was stoked to play it, but it was like, okay, I'm good for the night and go to bed. This game, I'm staying up till like 1 a.m. playing this game, and I can't stop. I was like, even then, I'm like, I need to stop because I need to wake up at 6:30 in the morning. Like, I can't do this. So
going to bed at 5:45. Yeah, finally.
Cult of the Lamb is very, very good. I feel like I'm getting close to the end. I probably could have beat it by now, but I'm doing enjoying the management side of things, like building out my base and making sure like people are getting fed and, you know, doing the different rituals and stuff like that. So good times. All right. Well, that I think that's it. Thank you all so much for listening. We appreciate each and every one of you so much who hang out here and listen to us live, watch us live on Monday nights, or maybe you catch us later on Patreon feeds after I put this out tonight. Or maybe you're one of those people who don't support us on Patreon. You don't catch us live, but you get it eventually. Wednesday when it comes out to everyone, or later on when you happen to stumble across it. But either way, you guys are all awesome. Thank you all so much. You can listen to us on podcast apps all around the globe. Every app you could possibly think of. I think we're pretty much there. YouTube.com/SuperGamerBoys. You can watch our stuff over there. Like I said before, if you want to support us, Patreon.com/SuperGamerBoys. You get the stuff early and ad free. So if you missed some of the episode tonight, you could get the rest of the episode tonight. I upload that, get it up as soon as possible. So look forward to that. You can also support us over at sgbstore.com. Buy some sweet merch. Remember, Summer Gamer Boys collection is still up for now. I don't have any official date. I'm planning on taking it down, but I'm hoping to get some fall stuff going. So if that, as long as timelines work out with that, we should be good. But we'll see. Rate and review us where we can. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, leave us 5 stars. That'd be very much appreciated. Leave comment, leave it all. Help us out. Help a pal out. Shout out to Jack, Sriracha, Yate, and DJ Trooz for allowing us to use their music on the show. You can find them over on Apple Music and Spotify. Links will be in the show description. You can find us during the week over at supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at gmorlang. Adrian, where can people find you at?
You can find me any and everywhere online at Homeboy, HOLMBOI.
All right. And all those links will be down in the description. So check it out if you're watching on YouTube or listening on podcast apps. And with that, I'm done. That's it. So Adrian, do you mind taking us out?
I do not mind at all. Folks, thank you for hanging out with us for another episode of the Super Gamer Boys podcast. As always, we appreciate any and all forms of support, whether that's here with us live on the podcast, recording, listening on your favorite podcast app, watching VOD, sharing it with a friend, or just, letting your landscaper know so they can have something to listen to while they, trim the bushes. Yeah. But yeah, we always appreciate everybody who allows us to continue to do this, and it puts a fire under us to continue to make the best content that we can. And we are getting closer and closer to our goal. The clock is definitely ticking now that it's September, but I feel like we can get to 500 subs before the end of the year. And I feel like one of the best ways to do it is with your help. So continue to please share our stuff. And until next time, we are the Super Gamer Boys.
We'll catch you on the flippity flop.
I'm kind of jealous. Maybe I should have peed for Astrobot.
Do it.